Big up, Callum. Thank you for that. Big up, big up. We are big up and welcome to Liverpool Man Show. Like I said before, as I was just trying to get situated, it looks like I was on mute by some situation of my own, but circumstances of my own. But all the same, you can hopefully hear me now because we are live and direct, and we're gonna just be doing just a quick show, a little after hours, a little Adult Swim type situation where we're gonna just talk about some of the news that's been that's broke today with some big news, obviously some unfortunately big news. And I got the Irishman here with me today as well. Big up, Brian. How are you?
Yeah, very well. How are you?
Good. Saw you had a little game night actually going on earlier.
Yeah, myself and Lee had a bit of fun.
That's cool. Super cool. And big up to those that are
busy. So
yeah, you can hear me now. I know.
No, I had a feeling you were busy or something, so I
today's been a wild day today. We had because it's the day, it's Black Friday here, so that's the day where you get all your sales and you get your big sales and everything. There's a lot of some people have taken off for today and the likes. It's Friday, obviously, but it's also the day after Thanksgiving here, at least on this side of the pond. So you have a lot of cases where a lot of people aren't available, or the hours that they are available is very very small window that you can catch up with them. I got the pleasure of being able to hop on to Coppish. I got to hop on to Coppish call in. They only do a call in they do one every once a month, so it's very difficult to get into the show and be able to chop it up with them and kind of touch base. Subjects that I wanted to talk about in the beginning of the month are already mute, or maybe even I don't even know why. I don't even know if I really like bringing it up type subjects. So it's kind of interesting. But shout out to Callum, shout out to Philip. Thank you for joining us. Again, this is going to be just a short Adult Swim here. So you get to say or ask any questions you like in this episode. We will certainly do our best to answer whatever we have the knowledge on. And if we don't, we'll certainly search out those answers one way or another for you. You know how we do. And I guess what we got to start off is just to rip the Band-Aid off is that, the news came back. Well, at first it was weird because, the news coming out that it was maybe an injury that wasn't going to be that big of a deal, in a sense of maybe he was going to be able to be available for this City game this weekend. But the news has been dropped that we are going to be without Ibu for at least 4 to 6 weeks. We went through a lot of the scenarios on the show yesterday, and looks like it is some type of a serious injury, serious enough that he'll be out of the game and out for some time, out for close to 2 months. So, what are you thinking about that? How are you feeling? Do you think we can maintain and sustain that with now, again, something that you and I both have said is very integral to us being able to not only win possibly a Champions League, but also primarily to win a league, is to have that center back duo or that center back pairing that is there, from start to finish. Do you think it's going to really substantially affect us?
Affect, yes, substantially. I hope not. I hope we can somehow manage to get through it with what looks like more than likely going to be Joe, now stepping in and being the main man there.
Mm-hmm.
You're 6 weeks. Oh man, that's going to be what? I don't know how many games is that. That's a load of games in 6 weeks.
A load of games.
Because
we got a lot of games in December.
Everything. Yeah. Like you didn't even need, the guy was going to be needing a rest anyway. We're going to need to be able to rotate. So now all of a sudden you've gone from having your right back cover, your left back cover, because Simi's out, Bradley's out. We're down to like pretty much the bare bones now. You've only got Aquans on the bench. So yeah, we'll do really well. Like if we can get an 11-point lead now over City on Sunday,
it'll help.
It's a hell of a cushion, but it is kind of football and God stuff. But it's not long enough. It's not near enough January to go out and say, well, could we do something in the next couple of weeks? Could we bring someone in? We're going to have so many games between now and when we could even get a new player into the team if that's what we wanted to do. To bring in some cover. Like we're going to have so many huge games. So yeah, this can't not but affect us. It's just how much. Yeah, it's taken one of our major players out the game, and it gives us so many headaches now.
Yeah,
because once you've got Joe Gomez on the bench, you've got cover for 3 positions. Now you've lost your cover for all those 3 because he's starting. And we have no Ramsey.
Or can we just go back? Or can't we just go back to possibly, the original plan of that we had in the Ipswich game, and that is by utilizing Kwanzaa and utilizing him and maybe platooning him and Kwanzaa in that role.
Yeah, of course he doesn't. I'm just kind of going by who has started the most recently, and it's been Joe.
Right.
So, like if it's Kwanzaa, that still gives you the option of Joe on the bench.
Right. That's why I was saying that.
Like it gives you that cover there.
Especially without Simic now, and that's the unique thing about it, Brian, is that Simicast is out currently. So our left back coverage, obviously we can go with maybe like a Owen Beck or something like that. But like right now we have our backups are technically our backup left back out. We have our starting center back out. Obviously, we're going through by getting hopefully fully back our starting goalkeeper. This narrative that's been out there about how like, oh well, one that we're super thin when it comes to our options, when it comes to our lineup and the likes, but also this narrative out there that we haven't been maintaining. We're trying to navigate getting in the injuries that have been sustained to our team so far and still having the record that we do. Is that not something of like a little bit of a paper thin or like a paper tiger almost, in the sense of like, I know that a lot I've played for you the Arsenal take about our team and everything else, or when they were talking about when Real Madrid was being reviewed, when the game about Real Madrid was being reviewed, all they did was talk about Real Madrid's big injuries. We've had some injuries ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, this is just it's not even so much a player. It's just the position. It's just like it sort of it takes away 2 or 3 chess moves from you. From being able to go. Like if we knew that Jarrell Kwanzaa was guaranteed first team starter if Eva was out, then it's a different story. But if it's Joe Gomez that's starting this, then we do look very thin all of a sudden. Especially if Simi and Bradley are both going to be out, then you're going to be looking at our bench going to be.
Exactly.
So I don't really know like where our cover is. We don't need one more now, so we're going to be sending guys out on the pitch, not only saying right. Trent, you were just back from a hamstring, but you have to play 90 minutes now. We can't take you off after an hour. If Gomez is starting, what you could do maybe is you could bring on a Kwanzaa and take Trent off and move Joe to right back. But even that's real kind of none of that is anywhere close to ideal. And it just shows sometimes just one player being out in the wrong position. It's just like, oh shit, we're a little bit checkmate here now at the moment. And touch wood, one other thing goes wrong. But it's the fact that Trent is coming back from injury as well. And we know what that's like.
Right.
That's when you're most likely to hurt yourself again, is when you're just coming back.
Yeah.
I
So
was
it's
going
what
to ask
happened to
him
him
to
last
do it.
time.
Yeah, straight into a big game. Straight into a
Yeah.
big game on Sunday. High intensity game.
High intensity, you're going to exert yourself immensely. Yep. Yep. So then, does it mean that obviously, we can't do anything about it right now? So we have to, I've obviously utilize the resources that we have on the bench or within our means, in the sense of by the youth academy. But do you go as far as possibly, either playing someone a lot out of position like we did under Jurgen Klopp, or do we go as far as, to trying to bring up a youth academy player for some type of coverage, at least some type of coverage, for the positions that we're in need of right now?
Yeah, you're probably going to be trusting on the boys doing the under 21s to say this kid can, he's ready or he's not, because Slot probably won't know a lot about them yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking about, someone mentioned earlier, someone like Endo could do a job at right back if you needed someone to do 20 minutes.
Mm.
Or I think JK was joking. He said he'd play Dom at right back. Dom could probably do it. Like if you said, look, Dom, we're stuck, man. Can you do 20 minutes at right back? Of course I can.
Mm-hmm.
The grass is green, the football is still round. You can do a job.
Well, because you've seen it done. We just played a team that was doing it themselves with Valverde. Valverde's not necessarily a right back, but he was playing right back for them in that game. They had Asensio playing in that center back spot for them as well. Have some people pretty much kind of a little bit out of place for where they normally see them.
I suppose what you're asking is, would I rather we got creative or would I rather we promoted from the youth? I'd probably try and get creative, maybe a little bit. Say even Jones. I don't know. Yeah, you might have to get very, like, one more injury, and we are going to actually have to be thinking about what can we do here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just pray that we get through City, because then we've got, it doesn't drop. Then you've got the intensity. Assumed intensity of the Merseyside derby coming up.
Yeah.
And then a trip to Newcastle.
Yep.
So yeah, it's Kwanzaa's going to have to play at some. He's going to have to come in at some point. It's going to be really interesting to see. What he does on Sunday now. To me, if you ask me to put I put a tenner on Gomez if I had to put money on it.
Mm-hmm.
Not Kwanzaa, because when's the last time Kwanzaa got minutes? It's got to be a while.
Last time he got minutes was, I think it was a European Cup game or something. I don't think he got. Maybe he got minutes in the League Cup. I'll check for you. As we speak.
He's pretty cold. You see, he's pretty cold. At least Gomez has been in and around the team.
He's been on the bench as an option though in every game, but you're right. It hasn't been, mostly for the most cases. We've either gone again with having our center back pairing basically go about handling their duties, or it's been a case where maybe one or two of them, or not one or two. Excuse me. Maybe Gomez comes in a match or something like that once or twice. Let me double check. It's a really good question. Because let's see. Ipswich. So wild.
I think he's my preferred option anyway. Gomez at the moment, he's my preferred option.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So last time he played was Brighton in the League Cup.
Yeah, that's a while ago now.
Before that, he played he's only had since let's see. Yep, since Ipswich, the only games he's actually played in, outside of obviously England, because he's played for the U21 team. But for us, outside of the start for Ipswich, he has played in only cup matches so far. He's played in the West Ham match, and he played in the Brighton match. That's the last time he played. Oh, I mean, he might have played in Leverkusen. Let me double check. He might have gotten a bit in there. Yeah, he got in the 88th minute. That's like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
4-0. 4-0 game. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. We
just
can
gotta
navigate.
trust it.
Yeah, you do have to just trust it. You have to trust it. And I mean, if anything, there's like those, we talk about sliding doors all the time. I mean, if there's anything that shouts out sliding door, then it's certainly this opportunity for him to basically make something make something from an opportunity that you don't want to have to see, or I don't want to hear him say some silly comment about like that he said to like when Matip got injured. But I would like to see him take on the intensity and the focus, knowing that this is a big opportunity, and his teammates are going to very, very, very much so need him in this time right now to step up and play, if not to his level, maybe even above. So the comment that Ibu said was, now we start the recovery process, but one thing I promise is I will come back and be the best I can be once again. Thank you for the amazing support at Anfield. Inshallah. We will keep going, and I will support the team every step of the way.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he plans to be back for a while, does it?
No, he said so frustrating to pick up this injury right at the end of a great game on Wednesday night. I mean, he knows what it is, and that's why, again, I'm extremely like disappointed that it was Endrick playing reckless, because that's what he was. Let's be honest with him, playing reckless and loose and reckless, and ends up hurting our own player in a part and point of the game that was the game's over. It's pointless. It's not like you're worried about like away goals or something like that. It's nothing. There's nothing you're really playing for. It's the dying minutes, and you go out there and you slip and slide and take out one of our better players this year. So
yeah, I hope he got a message. I hope he got a message from saying, look, sorry about that, basically. You can't change it. You do.
You can't change it.
Have to play it.
You can't change it.
There's a message, via
That's
Allison or via, he'll know one of the Brazilian lads, via Ali or something, just say, look, pass on a message saying I'm genuinely sorry, kind of thing. Because he's a young kid, and he won't like to have done that. But yeah, it's just reckless, and it was a horrible end to a game that most people didn't even. A lot of people didn't even notice it.
He didn't.
That it was a problem.
He didn't. And that's the key part and point about it is like it obviously was away from the play. Like it wasn't anything involved. It was just silly action by the player that obviously is going to, oh man, make this a little bit more difficult of a Sunday for a lot of us. But I would like to know if it's a game changer. Does this now make it where your outlook on our season is different simply by this one particular injury? He will be back, people. I will admit that, though, and I will stress that he will be back. So it's not like it's a season-ending injury or something along those lines. He will be back. There was talk about there being a big announcement today, but it didn't drop as of yet. If there is one, at least I haven't seen it. Also, the Ibu thing will be most likely 10 games, by the way. That's what we're looking at. 10 games. I just did the math in my head here. I forgot to mention that. So you're looking at Looking at 1 second. You're looking at obviously the City game, City, Newcastle, Everton, Girona, Fulham, Southampton, away at Spurs, Leicester, away at West Ham, and then he might be available for the United matchup at Old Toilet.
What date is that?
What day is the Old
What
Toilet?
date? Yeah, what date is that? January.
That would be the 5th of January.
Yeah, that'll be close. That'll be.
I'm sure that's where he would like to target his return, but if not, then I wouldn't stress him coming back for Liverpool at Forest or Liverpool at Brentford. I wouldn't stress for him to try to come back on an away fixture, and especially not an away fixture at like a game like that. And then we have Liverpool hosting Lille in the Champions League on the 21st. So that's 3 weeks into January by then. That would be like well into the recovery process.
I just didn't like the way he was spoken. I mean, it's not one of those like, yeah, I'm going to be out for a little while, but it's got a very kind of like, I'll see you when I'm back, kind of thing. It's like, well, okay, will you not be back soon? Yeah, it's like as if he fears it's going to be more longer time. Like you could be looking at, if it's 6 weeks. The thing is, it's not even, it's too far away to do something about it. The timing of this is just an absolute kick in the teeth. Really is. We need some good news. We need, like you were saying, there was supposed to be something coming out tonight. We need something like that. We need a Virgil contract signing or something. But we can't do anything to the squad. We have the people we have now. So Joey has won a league title playing alongside Virgil. He's still a very, very fit player. He still knows what to do in that role. This is just so annoying, this one. This is a really, really, especially like you're saying, just because of something stupid. Just something really stupid. That's the way it goes. Football gods.
Yeah. Kind of took a little bit of the air out of the balloon.
Yeah.
For tonight, but certainly we hope and pray that Ibu has a fast and painless recovery to get back on the pitch and do some work out there for us. Do some work for us. And also, you know what? It's also a time and point where, these players that might not have thought that they were going to be given the opportunity. It just shows you that same mentality that Endo was talking about, for instance. And you just mentioned Endo as possibly a possible solution, or not solution, but a possible remedy for what we're facing. You have to be prepared for the opportunity, because you never know when that door is going to open and you're going to be asked to step through. And that's what we see right now. Joe Gomez is someone that I'm sure has been in this position before. Let's not get it twisted. He was a part of our title run and before this, and it was because of Matip at the time who was one of the premier players in the league at that moment, and Joe stepped up. So we're hoping that he can do the same right now. Certainly hoping.
Yeah, he's been unlucky. He's been very unlucky in the fact that he's been relegated to this firefighter role now. I think it's kind of unbecoming of someone who really did so much for this club. The fact that he's now that guy that plays when somebody else is injured. I think he probably sees himself as probably having more about him than that. I think he'll feel he should be playing, not necessarily here. But it's the way his career has worked out with timing of injuries. He could, if things had worked out differently this summer, he may well be playing for Newcastle or something like that.
Mhm.
But now again, here he is thinking probably 5 months ago, well, that's finally it. You know, my days at Liverpool, my journey there is over. And once again, now he could be, because of, yeah, like you said, football sliding doors, he could be integral to us winning another league title. The only one that will have won since he won the last one.
Mhm.
So it's crazy when you think about it. It's crazy when you think, you think where you're going to be in 5 months or 5 minutes in football. You just don't know. Like
Nope.
nobody would have said this is a potential for him. Because he will be if he comes in, he's starting, and that's going to be him starting again for the team top of the league in the Champions League table.
Right.
So it's amazing the career he's had here. Like the amount of times he's been written off, forgotten about, sold basically for some people, and always to come back in and always be needed. There was always a time when, oh, thank God we still, not kind of, what, thank God we still have Gomez. He can come in and do
Yeah.
things.
I,
It's
I
always
I can't
that way.
stress that enough right now. I'll tell you the truth, like us, and thank goodness that Gomez deal that was being. I mean, there were some that were looking to, you know, push him out in that sense of, you know, some that were willing to thumbs up the Gordon deal that included him at one point. I was not one of those people, but there were some that were free and easy to go with that one. There were some that were saying, "Hey, we don't see Joey getting an opportunity in this lineup, so let's see if we can get him moved on to another team." And it just goes to show you that having quality players, ones that have been through the trenches, ones that have been through some of these tough times, it will make a difference, and hopefully, so Joey will be that person for us this time around. And also Kwanzaa. Hey, Kwanzaa held up a very big part of last year for us when we needed it. When Ibu or wasn't unavailable last year, so let's hope that he can do the same this year. There was something else that kind of people are trying to run with, and that was Jude Bellingham's actions after the game, where he went into the tunnel or into the out or waited outside of the locker room, and he was with what looked like to be two maybe youth academy players or something, maybe for their squad with him, and he was hoping to get in touch with Trent to try to get his kit. He ran into Gravenberg that was walking into the locker room. He told Gravenberg, he asked Gravenberg if he could ask him for the kit, and Gravenberg went inside and actually went inside the locker room, got the kit for him, came back out and gave it to him. Some are taking that as like, oh, this is the writing on the wall. This is what it is. I don't see how you can take that big of a leap from a simple kit exchange, you know. I don't understand it at all. But do you read anything deeper into this by Jude being there for the kit, other than the fact that they're just mates?
No, I'm surprised he had to ask for it. I'm surprised he had to wait around. Normally, they do. They just organize that before. That's the way it used to be. They'd say it on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was making a bit of maybe a bit of a show for the cameras to be seen hanging around outside. I know it's a strange move for Bellingham to be hanging around outside waiting like a fan.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Yeah.
don't read anything too much into it at all. No. These are the things that we're going to have to be dealing with now, like until these things are put to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And at least that's it. The Mo Salah thing was a nice distraction before this game. Otherwise, it would have been all about Trent going to Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've left town. We don't have to deal with them again. Hopefully this season. And yeah, I wouldn't really. No, I'm not reading too much. I'm surprised I didn't hear more about it. To be honest, But the fact that he hung around outside waiting shows that it means a lot to him to get it, and he wasn't prepared to kind of take any chances in. Look,
Yeah,
I've got to.
missing out. Yeah,
Yeah, we're going straight on the bus back to the thing. I just want to make sure I grab the kit before I go, but I'm not going to knock on the door. So yeah, I'm pretty cool with it. Yeah, pretty cool
yeah.
with it.
I mean, I can understand him not wanting to have a quick run back to the bus, considering what happened to the bus on
Oh
their
well, yeah. They
yeah.
are they still there? Does anybody know? Did they survive? Are they still stuck on the side of the motorway in Liverpool somewhere?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? We got Nalante with us too, by the way. Good, big up to you, Nalante. How are you?
Yeah, big up yourself, 12. Bri, chat,
Yeah,
big up.
Yeah, man.
Big up.
yeah. Wagwan. Um, we were just talking a little about the injury. We're talking a little bit about giving a shout. I saw that you were on Coppish as well. Big up to the Coppish crew as well. Big up to them allowing for us to be on their platform to do the call in. I saw that the person that you're on with was definitely hogging the mic a little bit, but all the same.
Yeah. There's always one.
Yeah.
There's
But it
always
was
one.
good to see that you're being good and calm and respectful as well. Kind of some good stuff to talk about. Is that we do have a case where, despite the news, we do have an opportunity to go up and place 11 points in between us and City. How are you feeling about this Sunday? How are you feeling going into this game?
Well, to be honest, it feels like a little bit of in the defensive stage all through because against Arsenal, they had their injuries and we were expected to win, especially the chat. Everyone's like, oh, we're favourites, and look what happened. We made a struggle out of that and we got a point, which for me felt like a defeat. Although it wasn't, it just felt like a defeat. We didn't take advantage. So people or fans say, no, we should beat them, or they're 5 and 6, they'll be sadly mistaken because at some point with all runs, the team's going to come good. Look at Southampton last week,
Mm,
one win. We're supposed to batter them, but we look at the struggle we made through. So I'm not going to be fooled by City. Yes, they know Rich Framework, they still got quality players. So if anyone thinks it's going to be a beatdown, they're surely mistaken. It's going to be a close game.
right.
It's gonna be a close game for me. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because usually for the last, I think, hold on, last season. Oh yeah, we beat them this season. Yeah, I mean, like again, like I said, last season the 1-1 draw. I mean, yes, we should have had a blatant penalty. We know that, but we should have beat them.
Mhm.
Diaz, Nunes, all were golden chances. So we just need to get the win. It's just pretty simple as that. When we play good or poor, you know what? For this game, I really don't care. We just need to get the win and make it an 11-point buffer. That's all it is. If it's a
Mhm.
draw or a loss, it'd be very disappointing. It'd be very, very disappointing. And I'm not, listen, Ebo's out, but I'm not really too fussed about Ebo. Only because of my brother Joey G. Like people think he's some average player. I know people. Yes, I understand Ebo, but just think about who's coming in. A guy, in my opinion, is as good as Ebo. He's at Ebu's level when he's fully firing. So whatever happens, we don't win and we don't win, we draw or lose. There'll be no excuses. It'd be very disappointing. So it's up to the players, but we have a manager that's very level-headed, very temperamental, and I've been impressed. For someone who thought, he shouldn't get the job in the first place. A lot of people. He's been very temperamental, very level-headed. And he
Mhm.
keeps one thing I like. He keeps reminding the Forest game. He keeps bringing up that Forest game, which I like because it's a reminder to the players. Shit done change. You know what I mean? So. Let's hope we put more misery on the blue half and keep the winning streak or going on, and let Haaland cry into his cornflakes. Let Pep scratch his head a couple more times. That's all I want to see.
There you go. Big up JK. JK is joining us too right now. JK, how are you
Yes.
today? And please do tell us what's your thoughts on the bad news. But again,
Mhm.
um, news that every team's got to deal with. You know, every
Yeah.
team's got to deal with this type of news at some point, or for the most part, at some point, we're going to have some player that is a big part, depending on how big is a different story, but a big part of your hopes and aspirations.
Like evening, guys.
Even
Like for
JK.
me, Kanati was the most improved player this season in the squad. Proper happy when he's starting the games next to Virgil. Like that's how confident I've been in his game this season. That injury just came out of nothing. It was just sort of shouldering him. He came through the middle of him. He's trying to let the goalie come and collect the ball, and he just got done. You know, simple things like that can ruin a guy's season. You know, so for me, he's gonna be out for a month at least. Yeah. So look, for me, we got Kwanzaa and we got Gomez. And me and Brian were chatting about it earlier. Gomez can cover 3 positions on the pitch, even the 4th, you know, the other centre back position. But for me, I'd go with Trent will be right back, I believe. And it's either Kwanzaa or Gomez. I'd rather go with Gomez. But if you had Gomez on the bench, is okay. It's okay as well. Just in case we need him in any of the positions, you know. Because Simicast is not fit. But for me, the Kanate news, nah, man. He didn't really need that. He was on top of his game. He was captain of France a few weeks ago as well. So he's on top of his game, the lad. So hopefully he'll be back soon. He gets injured quite a lot. Yeah. So, but this was sort of an impact sort of injury. It wasn't like he was running and he pulled up. It was like someone jumped on top of him. You know, what happened to Jota twice now. Oh, he's been out. How long's Jota been out now? It feels like years. You know?
Yeah, it does feel like a long time, tell you the truth.
Long time.
Does.
It
really does. Because at first, we were hoping it was just maybe like a bruised rib, or maybe then we heard like I think someone was as far as to say it might have been a punctured lung or something like that. Like, as and those things are serious. So what it is or what exactly it is, I'm not good. I'm only speculating right now because I don't know off the top of my head as to, or have confirmation as to what the injury was for Diego at least. But it has seemed like it's been quite some time. But we've maintained and we've pushed through and gotten goals from other resources and kept it moving. So hopefully we can get the defense and other resources too. We have this game against City, though. And City is a team, obviously, that is going through some issues themselves. I know Nlante brought up the fact about we went into that Arsenal game. They were down some notable names. We were too, by the way, in that game, which is very interesting. Again, I find it very interesting that so often when we go into these games, it's almost like as if Liverpool are so synonymous with having injuries, having to deal with injuries that we don't even we don't really discuss it, or that's not a talking point when it comes to the other matches. Pretty much everyone focuses on what they have missing as opposed to what we have missing. But we do have a case where City does have some important parts missing. Is it going to be in this game? Do we want to watch out from or guard against the whole narratives that I'm starting to see on a lot of different platforms, not just like content creators, but also network style content creators? We're saying, oh, we're going to end up, City's going to get pummeled, or City's going to, this is going to be, they're going to lose by 2, 3, 4 goals or something along those lines. Shouldn't we carry a little bit of prior knowledge, as Nolante just pointed out, about having that been said about us going into the Arsenal matchup, but also the sheer fact that the way we play isn't really where we go out and bombard teams. Really, I get the Leverkusen game happened. That was one thing or another, but this is a measured approach that this coach takes. So I mean, seeing maybe a scrappy 1-0 win, or maybe even a 2-0 win, it seems like it's more just all about the W. What do you feel about that? We'll go with Nolante first, and then we'll go to JK and then Irishman.
Yes, all good, JK. All good. Again, Slot, I think the Real Madrid game, I'm just thinking of another game, maybe early this season, Man United, I guess. Two games where you saw Slot slowly evolving. I'll say more the Real Madrid game is a evolution of the way Slot wants to play, because that we haven't really had a 90 plus the majority of the game dominance.
Mhm.
For a while. We've been starting the second half, which is great, but sometimes it catches up against you. So Slot will just play, obviously it's chess, not checkers, as the old saying goes.
Mhm.
He will assess what City do. They will be doing something different. I think Guardiola will definitely change it up. He'll have something of a more. I think Diaz is back for them, which was a boost for them because he's a leader, a captain. They badly need him back in the backs. That will help them. But again, it's just the midfield. If we take control of the midfield as we did against Madrid, we should win the game. And I just like, Salah's been doing a lot in terms of goal getters. We just need Diaz to get his shooting boots. We just need the others to get well, Gakpo did score, to be fair. So
Mhm.
we just need the others just to be in the right places, just got the shooting boots on. If Salah has an off day, we need the others to just get the goals. And that's it, really. This game on Sunday, it's down to us. It really is down to us, what we decide to do. So, yeah, man. But I'm very cautious as well because City are City. So, whoever's got, like I said previously, I'm going to take what's happening with a pinch of salt. As long as we're focused and we're aware, then we know what we know what we need to do. That's all, really.
Okay. Okay. How about for you, JK?
Like for me, if City saying like, look, we haven't won a game in a long time, this is the game we're going to do it in.
Mm-hmm.
So that for me, they'll be up for it. Like willing to attack. They ain't going to be sitting back, So for me, in a weird way, we might be able to sort of counter attack them. But for me, they'd be up for this game. I just feel like Pep might use this game to get his team lifted. After we beat Madrid, he says, let's go to Anfield now and let's like teach these guys a lesson. So maybe it works into our favour that, instead of them sort of sitting back, letting us attack them, I'd rather do it on their counter attack, let them try to attack us and we do them in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but for me, that's the game Pep's going to look at, saying if we can get a result there, it'll bring our season back on focus, back on track.
Okay. Okay. Brian, how about for you? What are some of the points that you think are important for this upcoming matchup?
Well, I'd be not 100% not saying I totally disagree with what the lads are saying, but I'd have a completely different view on it at the moment. I'm not really going to back down from what I've been thinking, what I've been saying, especially not just because of certain things, but from the start of the season on. I think this team is shot. This team is done. I think I know one when I see one, and I think this team is shot. Walker, De Bruyne, John Stones,
Mm-hmm.
Jack Grealish. That team is done. That team is finished. The core of it has gone. The Ederson isn't what he was. Vardiol isn't really living up to it. They haven't replaced. They've got Savio. They've got the young kid Doku. They could come back. I mean, they can come back. They will come back, but they could beat us on Sunday. But that team right there, that team is finished, man. It's done. That team is Milner, Henderson, and Fabinho. That's that City team right now. Gundogan, Stones, De Bruyne. De Bruyne is nearly 35 years of age. John Stones can't stay fit. Kyle Walker couldn't run back when they were getting beat 3, when they were getting brought back to 3-3 against Feyenoord. Kyle Walker was nowhere to be seen. He couldn't make it past the halfway line. His recovery pace, his famous recovery pace. That whole team, man, it's finished. It needs to be ripped up and started again. Does that mean they can't beat us on Sunday? No, of course not. They've got those players. They got someone like De Bruyne with a wand of a boot, and you got that robot up front. Now we've dealt with him okay in the past, but if there's ever a time that I would want to go out there and play them, it's them, because this City team isn't coming back. This version of this City team is not coming back. John Stones, Kevin De Bruyne, Ederson, that's not coming back. It's finished. So Kyle Walker's finished. So it's all about, Jack Grealish, Doku, Savio. That's not Man City. They sold Alvarez for 90 million quid. He scored 2 goals the other night. What they wouldn't give to have someone like him. I mean, Ake, Kanji, they were good when everybody else was there, on top of their game in front of them. But right now at Anfield, if the only thing that I worry about is that we aren't able to put together the killer instinct to take them apart on Sunday. Because I think if we have it, we'll be able to do it. If, like, everybody leaves the shooting boots on the bus on Sunday, then we might let them away with it. But I don't think we should in any way let them away with it. They're falling to pieces. They're completely falling apart. And he can't hide it anymore. I don't know what he's done to himself. He's self-harming by the looks of it. So let's go there and let's put the boot in on them, because they do it to us. I don't care what they do after that.
Right.
But that side right now, man, that side is finished as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. In 32 Premier League seasons, only three times have teams come from 11 or more points behind at any point to win the title. Only 3 times. City have never managed to win the title after being behind by more than 10 points, by the way. And only once has a team had an 11-point lead after 13 games. Manchester United in the 1993-94 season, who went on to win the title, by the way. Liverpool would also need Arsenal, Chelsea, and Brighton to drop points to create that gap this weekend. So if we were to, if they drop points and we actually have because obviously Arsenal, Chelsea, and even Brighton, who sit square with Arsenal now with 22 points. If those teams drop points this weekend, and obviously Brighton just did, to be honest with you, because I believe Brighton just played, right?
Tonight, yeah. They played Southampton, I think.
Yeah, and then they ended up drawing, I think 1-1, I want to say the score.
Yeah, 1-1.
So, obviously that's points dropped by Brighton. Yeah, it looks like we could actually definitely enhance our odds of being able to say that we will be seeing red ribbons on that trophy at the end of the year. Enhance our opportunity. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I am saying I firmly believe it, because obviously I want my prediction to be right, but we shall see. We shall see. There's some other things I want to say. In four of Guardiola's 6 Premier League title wins season, they have overturned gaps of 8 points or more. By the way, they have come back when trailing. So they have come back when it was less than, and that's what we could see now, is that they could remain at actual 8, or it could even go as far as being moved to 5. But let's hope that's going to be pushed to 11. Whoa. So, what else do you guys have? What other games are you guys looking towards this weekend, by the way? Are there any other games that you'll have your eyes on? Obviously, since our game is on Sunday, there will be a whole Saturday list of games to take a little gander at. So
there's
Chelsea Villa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
And then the Arsenal game against West Ham. And I don't think it's going to be as easy as Arsenal fans think it's going to be.
Yeah.
From West Ham once they've got my fellow Ghanaian brothers back in the building. Kudos. So man, I think West Ham.
Is he back? Is he available?
Yeah, he's available. Yeah. His band's finished. Newcastle's the last band, so yeah.
Oh, that's
They
Oh,
great.
need
he's
them.
banned, was he? Oh, sorted. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it was one more game. That's cool then.
yeah. No, he's
He'll be
back.
well rested and anxious to get out there to make his
Yeah,
mark. I'm sure.
exactly. Yeah, and a lot of these Arsenal fans and fans are just thinking, West Ham haven't been great. It's true, but they won. A little bit. Still not great, but it's not going to be as easy as Arsenal think. So obviously, for all of us, Reds will be a keen interest into that game. So I think that'll be a good game. There's another one. I'm just trying to think of the game. You know what? I won't really, but I'll just be a little bit interested in. I think United are playing Everton, just for them to flop again, do the Rubin hype again, just for them to drop some points. That'd be interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Fulham has we'll see. Spurs will host Fulham this weekend.
Oh yeah,
The Villa game is going to be an interesting one, like you said. I'm very interested to see if they can go get a result at Chelsea. That would be a very big step for them because they have really floundered over the last couple of weeks.
100%.
No win in 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
They're in the mire. They are in the mire, man.
Yeah. You mentioned that Manchester United game that they'll be hosting Everton. That's gotten, at best, that's probably got a draw written all over it. And we spoke on West Ham as well. And Forest is going to be faced against Ipswich. Forest has certainly pulled off, I guess you could say, from the start that they've had this season. Kind of come back to the orbit that they probably were expected to be in somewhat, but they host Ipswich, a team that's trying to get a result, trying to make sure that they can stay in the Prem for at least another season. Wolves host Bournemouth, and then Brentford gets to see their new manager, I believe, right? Is he going to be on the sideline for this game? Okay. Into the fire?
Is he?
I didn't know if they had an interim or if they're going to make that transition, or I know he's been appointed.
No, he won't. He won't
He won't be, right?
No, he'll be in the stand, but he's been unveiled, as it were. But yeah, he won't take charge immediately tomorrow. He'll be in the stand.
Okay.
The coach, Ben Dawson, leads the side.
Mm-hmm. You know what I did see, by the way? I saw a report because Newcastle is going to be traveling to Crystal Palace. I saw this report. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but there's a player, Wharton was a player that we were all possibly interested, not all, but we were certain at Liverpool was apparently interested in. I know he got a lot of hype and he got a lot of praise from his performances last year. And also because of that hype, it certainly has ballooned his price tag when it comes to trying to acquire his services for another club. It has been put out there that Manchester City was actually interested in possibly pursuing him. There's also another team, though, that has basically apparently taken the pole position, and that is Arsenal. Arsenal is apparently in the pole position or looking to put themselves in a front row spot for possibly bringing in Wharton. What they're asking for, though, is £54 million as a starting point. That's where the discussions even start. Is Wharton a £54 million player? JK? Is he a £54 million player?
Right, is he even a player? Like, for me, how long has he been on the scene for? Like, you have one good game in the Premier League now, 20 million is added to your price tag straight away. You know, like, what is happening? The guy,
Happened with Kirkes as well.
Yep. So, but Kirkes has had a few more games than this lad. Like, he's done a bit more than him. You know, he's done pretty well at Bournemouth. But for me, this lad at Palace, like a few months ago, he sort of came on the scene, and then it was like City and Liverpool after him. I'm like, what? Never seen this guy in my life. Never seen him play. Whatever. So what's he done so special that makes him worth that much money already? Like, after not even being involved in football, it's like madness. like for me, teams like Palace and the lesser teams, they're gonna hype up these guys. People on social media will hype it up, get his price tag up, because they're not gonna get them type of guys every day in their youth system coming up, so they can sell for a good price. You know what I'm saying? So for me, if they got a guy like that coming in, they're trying to get the start Newcastle with Anthony Gordon and the Guimaraes. They want 100 million for them. Because that's what clubs want to do. They want to get out whatever they can for their players. So a guy like this, he's a bit of a good player. Yeah, about 55 million on him. Crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. How about for you, Irishman?
No, I'm with Jake. I think he comes on the scene, performs pretty well. Glasner comes in, does well for Palace, gets himself a call up to the Euros.
Right.
He's nobody outside of Crystal Palace had any idea who he was until he potentially got in that team. Then a few other people had heard of him, and then the next thing you know, he's in the England squad. And now he's, like you're saying, everybody from under the sun was being linked with him, and then that kind of money. What would you be doing? What would you be buying? I don't know. You're paying Premier League tax, but you're also paying young English player tax.
Yeah,
So
potential tax as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he might be someone that would be like really, really good if he joined your team, but I'm just always of the opinion that for a player who does what he can do, he's not a game-changing player. He's not a Suarez. He's not an Alisson. He's not a Virgil van Dijk. He's not a Salah. You can go out on the continent and you can get somebody that can do what he can do for a lot less than 54 million. If you
He's
get
not
your
even
scout.
Curtis Jones, bro. He's not even a Curtis Jones.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if we were to tie up Curtis tomorrow, like I know because he's on a really small contract, it'll only be a matter of time. And he's only on 10 grand a week, I think it is. Like if he was signed up to a 4-year deal on the books at Anfield on say 45 grand a week.
Okay.
But like if Wharton is worth that, like Curtis Jones would have to be worth 70 million.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. It's the reasons why, like I put it out there. Like originally, I was saying, we had an evaluation. I think for the original evaluation was for Kelleher, for instance, was like 25-30 million or something like that. Was like the original evaluation, and then it got released out there that it had gone up to about, I think, 35-40 million was the number that was being thrown around. Now it's like that Fat Joe clip. It's like today's price is not yesterday's price. It's just like, it's just one of those cases where you get so many different inflections that basically change the price, whether it's the Premier League tax that you're speaking on, or just the names. That's just the caliber of teams that are associated with the player. Actually, it's one thing if a Bournemouth or a Brighton, not Brighton, but Bournemouth or something like that, or even an Ipswich is interested in the player, But it's another thing if it's a Arsenal or a Liverpool. Then all of a sudden you put maybe an additional 5-10 million on top of that or something like that. So it's just kind of interesting that this player is someone that's now apparently out there. It looks like Real Madrid might try to go for Zubimendi. I don't know what that means I really don't understand why they would be doing that, other than it does certainly bring a emphasis on the fact that they are probably not going to continue on with Tuchemeni, or I seriously doubt that they're going to be moving on for Camavinga. But if Camavinga's on the board, I would say definitely, go all in for that player. He's a player I highly rate. But
yeah, it's Modric's last year as well. They're going to be looking at replacing him long term.
Mm-hmm.
But if they were to bring in a Zubimendi, it would make you think maybe there is something more in this Chimene stuff. I haven't seen a lot about it, but yeah.
That's so crazy when the first ask was 100 million. You're also okay. So Pops is saying not so crazy when the first ask was 100 million. Not so. You are also playing the development tax as well. I got you on that, guys. And he has certainly developed, and he has certainly gone from being a prospect to a notable player for their club, certainly. But it's just interesting. It's just interesting where and what a lot of these transfer ideas and are being thrown around there. Some of these prices for these players is so astronomical that it's just, whether it's the Portuguese clubs trying to get rich, whether it's the own fellow Premier League teams trying to add tax or trying to get bargains and the likes. It just seems like it just never ends for us when it comes to those cases. Do you think we should be still in? Do you think we should possibly take a gander at possibly getting Wharton in now too, with all things considered? Is he a player that falls? Brian, go ahead.
No, he wouldn't move the needle for us. No, he wouldn't be an upgrade for me on what we're looking at. Yeah. I think it'd be. I'm. Look, I know it's a stretch, and I know he's really, and I know he probably is, but I don't think that Adam Morton. I don't think that he's £54 million better than Tyler Morton, who plays in exactly the same position.
Mm-hmm.
So in a year's time, someone like Tyler Morton could be as good as this kid. So do you need to go out and spend $54 million on him?
It's a very good point.
No chance. He's a very Arsenal kind of sign. That sounds more like it to me. Him going to Arsenal. To be honest, he sounds more like a West Ham kind of signing. I kind of would have expected them to go, oh yeah, we'll give you 60 million for him. Yeah, totally. Deadly. Yeah, they're the kind of club that would normally do that, and then he'd be good there for a year and they don't end up losing him. But yeah, no, thanks, not for us. I'll take that 54 million and I'll spend it somewhere else.
Okay. How do you feel, and this is a question for the panel here, I'll start with Alante and then go to JK for this one. How do you feel about the growing sentiment or the growing argument that Ali doesn't walk back into the starting role for this team? I saw a poll out there, and I think I actually, I have it on my, took we have it on here as the numbers. Saw a poll out there, and it was kind of interesting to see the numbers from the poll actually, where a lot of people, for instance, for this game coming up, a lot of people did not have Ali starting. They have a good number. I want to say it's like 74%. Let me double check here. Pull it up here. It is okay. So there was 2,600 people voted on this. This is like a poll that was just released about a couple hours, like 5-6 hours ago. This poll said if Alisson is past fit to start versus Manchester City, who would you play in the 11? Would it be Ali or Kelleher? And 71% of the people voted Kelleher over Ali. And that's not saying, oh, we don't know if Ali's fit or anything like that. It says in the question, if Ali is past the fitness test and is fit to play, would you start him? And 71% of the people out there said they would start Kelleher. Lamont, are you a part of that 71 or are you part of the 29 that said Ali?
I'm a part of my percentage, 1%.
The 1%? I got you. I got you.
But before, I'll just say quickly, just to answer that.
What do you start Yaros or something? Is there some it's like
I'm the 1%er in this world.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, my maths is not all up to date. Once upon a time, it was. But what I will say is, just before I just answer that quickly, the whole Mama signing, I just don't get it. I just don't think we needed him.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Ali, world class goalkeeper, and he's committed for a good couple of seasons. And Kelleher, you could have sweetened the deal with him. I don't think we needed Mama, if I'm honest. But that being said, I've said it for the last 2-3 games he started. You got to keep Kelleher in goal, no matter who. I don't care if it's Trent, Salah. If there's a player in better form, you get the run going. Keep him in there. Let him continue phone, and Ali can start Newcastle, Everton, or one of the other games. You know, just keep him informed. He deserves to start. It'd just be a shame. And I love Ali. I'm a big Ali fan, but we got to keep it 100%. Whether it's Dominic, Curtis, if the player who's is wearing the Liverpool shirt is in form, you keep him in. Simple as.
Okay. Brian, I might have temporarily lost JK for a little bit, so Brian, I'll ask you that question. Same question. I know it's tough because it is your countryman, but all the same.
Yeah, no, there's no right or wrong on it. I think if you could do either and you'd probably still be okay. But yeah, I still think Ali still just gets his place back, as unfair as it is. I still think he comes back in. Had it been a couple of games more, had it been something else, who knows? The margin was getting really, really close, though. A while ago, wouldn't have been an option, really too much of a question. But now the margin is a lot slimmer. It really is a seriously hard question now. You know, and Slot might even be thinking it himself. It might not be as easy or as straightforward as we think it is. I think he's mentioned that it is, in his mind, that it's Ali's number one. If Ali's fit, he plays. And we're just lucky enough that the guy who came in instead of him is playing out of his skin, but that's just football sometimes. So what would I do? Bit worried about Ali, but considering that we have Ebo out, do you want to do 2 changes, or do you want to kind of try and compensate for Ebo being out by bringing Ali back in? Yeah, I would just. It is a really close call, but I would still just be falling on the side of Alisson right now. But like Keller has done literally nothing wrong, everything right.
Phenomenal job. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't think there's a right answer. Definitely not an easy answer. I don't think there's a right answer either.
No, and again, I thought it was very, very interesting to see that 71% is that thought out of close to, it was almost about as close to 3,000 votes, like 2,600 votes they had on there. That's a healthy number, very healthy number.
What did they say? Bring him back and keeping Kelleher, was it?
The question exactly was, if Alisson is past a fitness check, like as in if he's fit to play, fit to start, not like he can go 45 minutes or something, something silly like that. He's fit to play. First, Manchester City, who would you play in the 11? And then the question was simply Ali or Kelleher. And I answered Alisson too, because like I said, you know my stance. I definitely don't. I don't think you should lose your starting position due to injury. If you're the number one and you're playing well before the injury and you just happen to get injured, you should be able to regain your spot, because I know that people will be like, oh well, they're playing well and this and that. Kelleher's playing well, and I get that, but you're not going to be able to necessarily test whether Alisson is really is able to play or not unless you play him. So that's why I won't Valley.
So what was the answer?
29% for Ali, 71%
Okay.
for Keller.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
that's like about, let's see, 13. I'm doing rough numbers. That's like, that's close to, very close to 2,000. Very close to 2,000 of the 2,600 people voted. So only about, I was part of only, some 600 or so that did it. I know Pops is good with the math, so he could do the math real quick for us too, maybe. He's saying AB1 doesn't need to be rushed back in. I agree with that. We rushed it back last time and it cost us, so why repeat the error? That's a good point. That's a very, very good point.
Yeah, this is all predicated on him being fit. That's the
Yes,
assumption.
that's exactly.
And you can't bring him on for 10. That's the thing with a keeper. You can't bring him on for 10. You got to start him.
Yeah,
You can't bring him on for 45. The only way to get him back in is to start him.
Exactly. That's why it's one of those things where, like, you're gonna have a healthy little run coming up, and unless you're prepared to, you're gonna have to pull that Band-Aid off eventually. You know what I mean? You're eventually gonna have to pull that Band-Aid off, and whether it is for this game or whether it's for our next game after this, that's, I guess, for us to find out, or for what slot is on the measure. Man, oh man, it's an hour goes by quick. We're already past an hour, like an hour and 15 minutes. I said this is going to be I know it's late. It's getting late here. And I said it was only going to be an hour show, but I'm already pushing far past an hour already. Is there something that you guys want to talk about before we get close to ending? We'll probably end at the bottom of the hour, so you have about like 20. It's a little bit less than 20 minutes. Is there anything you guys wanted to bring up or talk about?
The only thing I'll just mention is the whole Igbo situation. I know a lot of people obviously are feeling, obviously upset about Igbo, and they've been playing quite decently. He had a shaky game last week, but he played well again on Wednesday, back to his form.
Mhm.
And there's been a lot of overreaction over it. Like, yes, he's injured, but this is always going to be a squad game, which, I mean, it's high and likely that all your players, some lucky and others, that are not going to go through the season. I just think there's been a bit, I've seen on certain podcasts, what are we going to do now kind of thing, just a bit of overreaction of Ibu. Although Kwanzaa's, he has he's hardly played, and the last time he played, he was a bit shaky. Kwanzaa, and you got Joey G. Like, I'm not too overly worried. Yes, it's disappointing Ibu's injured, but I just think there's been overreaction from some of these fan base. I mean, two good. One who's going to be a quality once you get older. Once he's 25, he's going to be a world class DM. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, of course, obviously, Pops. You mean he know this. I don't need it. Pops, you know the plug. Like I said, the history is there. The research is there. The evidence is there. What Joe G, And like I said, Joe G's last game against Brighton, he had a fabulous, I think Kanai came off.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a great second half. So, like I said, I'm not too worried, man. So I think as sometimes fans to overreact some of these some of these who's injured, who's not, man. The squad is there. Like I said, if we're gonna win this league, everyone has to be used. It's pretty simple as that. The Endos, unless he goes, etc. So yeah, man. So let's just he's done. We're sad, we're disappointed, but come on, man. Look who's coming in for him. Know your role. Know your roles.
All right, how about this? Would you prefer, considering we have
big up Pops? Yeah.
Considering we have Bradley out, considering we have Simicast out, it leaves certainly and considering the the current form and the certainly the lack of confidence by some in Robbo out there. Not saying that's part of this panel. I know it's not from me. I know it's not from you guys either. But would you be more? Would it be more palatable for you if you were to hear that Endo is going to play right center back, so that at least allows for you to have the option of having Gomez as an option for the fullback positions? Or would you simply say utilize Endo as a right back option? Hopefully we can get whatever we can get out of Trent. We can get full 90 out of Trent, hopefully, but use him as a right back option and have Kwanzaa play that. Or maybe I'll throw another twist into it in a second. But would you be open to those things? Does any of those things make you kind of cringe, or are you like, we'll see. If it happens, it happens.
Ouch.
Yeah.
He's taking his stuff. I mean,
that's
injury.
A tough one. I know it's a tough one.
It is. I mean, you want your Japanese samurai somewhere in the lineup.
Yeah. If you're plugging Joey G, I gotta plug my guy.
Plugging where he's best at. Plugging where he's best at. But no, I mean, again, hypothetical stance as you just. I will answer the question. Then Brian and JK's back after JK was disgusted from the last comment, so he just took time out. But no, if you hypothetical situation, I'll put Endo right back rather than as a centre back.
Okay.
My personal opinion. So yeah.
Okay. I mean, we could have he could play he could maybe take on he could be the Japanese. Oh, I guess he could be the Japanese butcher. I guess maybe not. I guess not. Yeah, I think they're about the same height. That's why as Martinez is about the same height as Endo. How about for you, Irishman? That scenario is.
Yeah, I think he's done it before. If we've got a,
he has done it before.
If we've got an issue where we're having to play Endo at centre half, we know we got some real problems. Not because he's a bad player, but because that would mean Gomez would also be out, or Kwanzaa would also be out, and we'd be down to serious bare bones. So it's like.
And that's also just saying, the only reason I'm saying Gomez is because to have the option of using him as a backup for right back or left back. That's the only reason I was offering that.
Yeah, I think he'd be kind of the next guy. I think he could probably, if we asked him to do a job at right back, definitely do it. But none of it would be ideal. I think someone was mentioned earlier on that he played a lot, but I think he played in a back three.
Yeah.
So I can imagine he was probably kind of the guy in the back three that was playing like in midfield as well, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think he's the kind of guy that if you needed him to play some for 20 minutes, he could probably do it anywhere other than, maybe left wing and striker and goalkeeper. He could probably do your job everywhere else just for 20 minutes.
You're certainly going to get a different profile if you try to use him as a right back, then let's say as a right center back. I mean, right center back, you're primarily looking at him for a lot of defense measures, but
I'm sure he could run the line. Yeah, he could run the line. He could tackle. He can do. It's not that different to the middle of the park, for half an hour or 45 minutes in a game to play at right back. Definitely not. But it just kind of wouldn't let you down. But you'd be looking at next cab off the rank in the other positions would be either Gomez or Kwanzaa, and then hopefully by the time you might need that, Simi will be back. Like, we don't have any. Does anybody actually have any Bradley news on? Like, is that a week? Is that a month? Is that even a thing? Is it? I haven't seen anything about that.
I haven't seen anything been released about Bradley's injury
No,
just yet.
like we're getting all this Ebo news, and they both got injured in the same game. There's absolutely nothing about Bradley. I'm just wondering what the story is there.
Yeah, I don't have any idea as to. It says the last I heard. Let's see. It says Ibu and Connor out for a month. Let me see. Let me see if I have anything here for him. That might just be all about Ibu primarily. But yeah.
Pops the same weeks.
Yeah, it will be a couple weeks though for him. Bradley is expected to be out for roughly a month after straining his hamstring in the 2-0 win over Madrid. The injuries never stopped for Liverpool. That's they do. You know, they do.
Jeez. Yeah, we've got a problem. We have a depth problem at the back now. All of a sudden,
Yeah,
we may need to be getting creative pretty soon. Yeah, because if it's him, if Ebo and Pops is saying we won't see him till next year. Now I know that sounds kind of dramatic, but it's only a month away basically. But that's a whole month without our only right back cover and one of our main centre halves. Yeah, we are. Trent can't just all of a sudden be back fully fit, not miss a game. Gomez all of a sudden just becomes bang, plays every game, doesn't miss a minute. Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting creative. Anybody got Nat Phillips's phone number? No. Is he still in the building? He's still hanging around outside, maybe getting Nat back in. Yeah.
It sucks because Bradley just got his new song. They've created a new song for Bradley. So it'll be a couple weeks before he gets to actually hear it with him on the pitch. But I hope that it is one that sees him return to the pitch sooner than later. There is also last point that I'll bring up is there has been talk about Liverpool's negotiations. I already spoke on the fact that, yes, I was hoping that we were going to get the reported announcement of Virgil van Dijk signing a new contract with the team. There is talks, though, that Liverpool's negotiations with Luis Diaz over a new deal reportedly haven't progressed as expected, with certain disagreements putting his future in doubt with the club. This is a player that has been utilized more heavily than ever in, first it was just a left wing, then it became left wing, occasional right wing. Now it's become left wing, occasional right wing, and now as a false nine. He's a player that isn't making a lot of money, obviously, in terms of football numbers, especially for a top-rated left wing in the Premier League. What number do you think? What's the number that you would offer him as being the number that you think should be able to satisfy? I obviously don't know. We all don't have an idea as to what in their minds their player is worth, or he himself is worth. But is there a number out there that you say, okay, yeah, he should be making this amount of money, and would you sign him to an extension to his current deal as well? We'll go to JK's back with us now, so I'll ask JK that question.
But for me, the work rate that Diaz puts in. Can you hear me?
Your mic's acting a little wonky.
Now?
Can you hear you?
I can hear you. Yeah.
It's still acting a little bit. It's locked in. So I'll ask Delonte the question. What is it that we have to do to get? Do you want to keep Lucho, or do you want to see us? Do you want to see us progressively get into getting him a new deal and bringing him in because we do have, as Pops is saying, he is on the bill for another 3 years, 2-3 years, I think is left on his contract at least. what is it that we need to get him at? What's the price point that we need to try to like factor him into? He's currently on about 55K a week.
55K. Isn't it 60?
I believe it's 55.
He takes about 25 home, right? Yeah.
I'll double check
Yeah.
for you.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, what about? I'll bring up what his contract is. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Cool.
Get it in here. All right. So for Lucho, we have him at, I think it's 55K, and I think it's 3 years, but let me double check. Lucho is making 55,000 pounds, and that's verified. And he has 3 years remaining, as Pops just said. There's 3 years remaining on his deal. The player's obviously 27, so 3 years would take him into being 30 years old. It would take him into being 30 years old. I know personally, I rate Lucho. I don't necessarily know if I give Lucho an extension on top of that. You know, I would certainly give him a bump to his salary. That sounds feasible. But 30 years old is when his contract would be ending, or he would be 30 at the end of the next 3 years. So, what do you do with this contract? We have actually, JK. Do you want to try your mic again, real quick?
Yep.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, we're cool. Yeah, like for me, he's been on low wages for a long time. And the work rate he puts in on that pitch, he deserves like at least 200. But for me, he's like 27. He's going to be when he's 30 by the time his contract runs out. So for me, he should get a good paycheck now. You know, the amount of effort and energy he puts into the game. Come on, man. There's people out there who don't even run like 10% of what he does and gets like 350 grand a week. You know, at Man United and Chelsea. Yeah, that's what's wrong with football, bro. The guy puts a work rate in like you can't explain. He runs more than anyone I'll see. He's a grafter in the team. He runs up, down, left, right, whatever it takes to get that ball, you know. So for me, he deserves a better wage. There's also Curtis Jones. I think them two guys in the Madrid game are really good. And they're our lowest earners. So it's a bit mad.
There was I know Pops in the chat, or at least I hope he's still in the chat. There was something that they brought up on their show, on their channel, and I know I was in the chat, and I was going back and forth with Pops about. So I know he was talking about, for instance, Bobby, Hendo. They were making like 150 or 160 or whatever they're making, so right around there, and even Thiago, who was making like around 200 some odd thousand a week. Those numbers came off the books, so we should have room within that wage budget to be able to accommodate new contracts, to accommodate possible bringing in new players. And that's how, like, if anything, in the beginning of the year when we were doing our where we got to play, Brian might remember this, when we got to play sporting director for the club, and we basically utilized the fact of we factored in what they were making salary wise, because we have to, and what they're making currently, and then what we'd have to offer them to make the incentive to even want to become a part of the club, on apart from just the heritage narrative. And I know that one of the reasons why I was debating with Pops is that the players that we got, let's say when we got Lucho, for instance, we're coming in at, there's like certain things that you factor into the salaries you're going to make. Lucho was making at the time 26,000 around there. And I think it was euros, by the way, but he was making around like somewhere in the 20 to 30,000 euros a week. That's what he was making at his club in Portugal. when he came here, we basically doubled his price. That's why I think it was around 26,000. I think he was on, but we basically doubled his what he was making there. Thus, he made 55,000, and that was pounds too, by the way. Sometimes when you're dealing with these numbers that you're dealing with, especially with the wage budget, some of these players are getting brought in at prices that are double what they're making before, or they're certainly good numbers for the player when they initially signed that contract. It could be even market value. But a lot of the signatures that we've made as of late have been signatures of players that are making market value or maybe slightly above market value already. Maka, Gravenberg is making, like, for instance, let me pull up what they're making here for you, and then I'll properly ask this question. All right, so when you look at our salary list, Chiesa has already made good money, was making good money in Italy, despite him not really playing to the levels of saying that he deserves 150,000 pounds. That's what he's making right now. Gravenberg is making 150,000 pounds, the same as Alisson, right? As Ali. When you go to Dominic's making 120,000 pounds. That's actually a little bit less than what I thought he would be making, to tell you the truth, but it is a little bit more than he was making at his previous club, obviously. Cody Hakpo, again, 120,000 pounds. I think that Lucho deserves to be in that range of 120 to 100, possibly even 60,000. But when these players get brought in, sometimes you have to factor in what is the market value, what is the current market, not market value, what is their current market rate for these players, what is the correlation, because that's how you can dictate as an agent. You can say, I want my player to be, a top 5 salary left wing in the Premier League. The left wings in the Premier League are making X amount, and that could be at least your starting point discussion, or I want my player to get double what he's making currently if you're bringing a player that doesn't have any history amongst the league. Are we not possibly, is Lucho kind of falling in this gray area, you think, maybe, when it comes to his salary? Certainly because he signed a big deal, in a sense of length of contract, but not necessarily for amount of money. Is he maybe coming into this little gray area where it could possibly force a really tough decision for Liverpool to make? Lante, do you want to try that one out, or if not, I can allow for Brian. Okay, Lante, you want to try that one?
Yeah, with Lucho, yeah. I mean, he should have been upped already, man. His performances, he had the serious injury, but he's come back well, and yeah, he can get better. He can improve on so much, but yeah, his wages should be up. But again, I think something Pop said, which I agree, because he's still got a lot of time on his contract.
Mm-hmm.
Sort the free out by the summer, so we get clarity in terms of who's going, who's leaving regarding that, and then sort out Diaz. He should be up to at least 100K at least.
Okay, Brian, how do you feel about that? With this, I know that you have a good sense of how some of the signings go, because I know people hear that number 55K and you're like, yeah, it's low, but it was twice what he was making in Portugal. So that is certainly incentive. You're not going to say, oh, someone that's making, I'll even tell you what he was making before. Whoops. Let me tell you 1 second. He was making let's see. Hang on 1 second. My thing's acting up on me here. And it was just for at his former club, he was making £12,000 a week.
Mhm.
That was just the one before we got him in. He was making £12,000 a week.
Yeah.
So we not only doubled it, we more than quadrupled it, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the crux of it. I don't think it works out with that because he's 27. He knows he's like you said, he's not being. I don't think he's being underpaid. Should he be on more? Yeah, because of his performances now, but he's on the contract that he's on, and that, like you say, we quadrupled his wages and turned him into a star. Basically, no one ever heard of him before he joined Liverpool. So he comes here, it is the deal that he's on, but he now also knows that he is that guy now. He's got, if he signs a deal tomorrow, it's going to be his last big deal. It'll be his deal that brings him to 31.
Yeah.
At a big club, these days can go to Saudi. We're not going to do that. We're not going to give him that money. We're not going to, he's talking about wanting to sign somewhere now as Luis Diaz right now. And that is probably 200 grand a week to some clubs, maybe 180, 190, 120 or 200. We're not going to triple his wages again, quadruple his wages from 50 to 200 at the age of 27. I just can't see us doing that. I can see us offering him a new deal and definitely it being more money, but like what that quote says there's disagreements about certain things. It's just money. It's always about money.
Yeah.
Disagreements are always about money. So it's basically, we probably said, oh yeah, you've done really well. No one's going to sit here and say you haven't, and no one's going to sit here and say you don't deserve a pay rise, because of course you do. But it's not going to be the big, huge, last bumper contract that you were thinking of, because we're not going to do that. I just don't think it's going to land for us and him. We'll be short of what he wants and what he thinks he can get. But then you got to buy him from us. That's another thing, Then you got to buy him from us. So, yeah, I think he's going to want probably double what we're offering him. We're probably going to offer him about 120. He's probably going to want 220. He said, I can get that somewhere.
Right, I'm sure he thinks he can. I'm sure if he were to try to force himself out of Liverpool, then there might be a suitor out there that is interested in bringing him in for some number close to that 200,000 mark. But yeah, I don't understand how and why. Sometimes when it comes to these negotiations, why it's difficult for some people to understand circumstances that there's more than one party that like you said, it comes down to money, and normally it's more than one party that has one evaluation of themselves, and then another party that has another evaluation for the party. So interesting. I hope that they get it worked out. I don't think that. Would you offer him, if it was hypothetically 4 more years, would you offer him more years? Would you offer him like a 2-year extension on top of that to make it work? So then you're bringing him into Lucho going to be 32 years old. Latte, would you do that by any chance?
To 32, yeah, if he keeps up the form, why not? He's in good condition, fit, and what he brings to the team, yeah. I wouldn't see, unless the only way we let him go is obviously we get a substantial offer, we get a player as good as him or better, like a Nico Williams or a Kanashvili at Napoli, one of those two, something like that. That's the only way I'll accept the DSL, because there's not many left wingers I can think at the top of my head. Those two just as good as him, if not better. But yeah, if not, if he keeps his form up, gets the goals, then yeah, why not, man? Look at
Yeah.
Salah at his age, what he's doing. But I know he's different from Salah, but in terms of fitness and the player. So yeah,
Right. Right. But he was actually, it's kind of crazy because he was the most used, other than Virgil van Dijk. He actually had the most minutes, I think,
last
year.
season,
Last
yeah,
season,
he
most
was in
minutes.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's testimony to him, man. Yeah,
Yeah. Has the second most appearances for in the Premier League for us last
Oh,
year as well. Second most
and as
Premier League.
well,
Yeah.
that's as well. Don't worry, like we said with Mo, he's on 55, but when we win matches and he scores goals
bonuses.
against us,
Oh, bonuses. Yeah.
yeah, don't
Absolutely.
worry,
Yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
away with 200 grand a week plenty of times already.
hmm
Or
And I'm sure that
he's
he's probably got something set up in his contract for that too.
they're all on
Yeah.
top bonuses. They're
Yeah.
all on really good bonuses for our team. So, but yeah, no, he deserves. There's no one out there going to say he should be on 100 grand a week.
Right. Right.
If Grab is on 120,
Yeah.
something like that, he should be. But are we going to renegotiate a new long term deal with him that gives him more than 120? Because he's going to want more than 120 if he does get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it might be a bit of an awkward one, a slightly awkward one, maybe,
Mhm.
because he might just have his eye on something. But again, like we said, yeah. I just heard you talking about Napoli. Like, would a team like Napoli come in and buy him for what we'd want? Would Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan, someone like that, a team that
Yeah.
he'd be happy to go to?
Yeah.
I think he's probably easy for us to say, but the best thing for him, I think, we just sign on a new deal with us. Stick on it. We can stick an extra year on it. Just make it 4 years instead of 3,
Mm-hmm.
and bump him
And
up
then
to
that,
120.
and bump up to 120. Yeah. So I was gonna say, I know people out there might not have the evaluation of him being a 75, which is what transfer market had him at. He had him at like around 70 some odd million. I'm not going to pull up transfer market off because I don't want my computer to be all. They have like 10,000 different ads on there, so it always slows up my computer. But I know that he was also one of the highest market valued player on our team. And I know it sounds weird considering it having a team with Salah and having a team with Virgil van Dijk, even a team with
Yeah.
Trent, but that's also about factoring in the length of the contract that the person has, the age of the player, all those things are all concentrated into it as well. There is a question I wanted to get in here before we end, going well over the hour mark I said we were going to do, so it does not matter though, because it's all about the people. So I'll ask this last question here. It's a long list. Does Reece Williams, Nat Phillips, Pialuga, Ramsey, Bashetic, Ben Doak, Owen Beck, Kumas, Scanlon, Tyler Morton, Gordon have a future at Liverpool FC? It's a long list of people there, some of which I'll answer this from my perspective. Some of those players have a possible future with Liverpool. I'd say a good number of those players, or not a good number, but I'd say probably about half those players probably do not. That's my answer. I'd probably go 50-50 on it, if not 60-40 maybe. How about for you, Brian? So it's a big list, I know.
I would say no, probably not. Hopefully, I don't think so. Potentially, no. Looks like he might, and no.
Okay. Volante? Or no, actually, I'll go to JK since he's off mute.
Yeah.
JK?
Okay. Williams, no. Phillips, no. Peter Luger, no. Ramsey, no. The next two guys, yep. I think Bendok and Batatic for me are the best out of that bunch there.
Mhm.
Beck, I'm not sure. Kumas, no. Scallion, no. Morton, maybe. Gordon, no.
Wow. Gordon. Sorry to say it. Sorry to hear that, Gordo. Nalante. And Pops had a question just for clarification. I don't think you did say that, but
No, Steph got a definite, high potential. Yeah, Steph, high potential. Yes.
I know you're very big on stuff. How about for you and Alante? If you went through this list, rapid fire.
Yeah, Williams, no. Phillips, what are you still doing at the club? What a waste of time by Liverpool FC. No. Beluga, thanks for the holidays. Brazilian, but no. Ramsey, hyped up, but no. Seven Basic, I hope you get your chance. Maybe. Ben Doak, I would love to see it, but no. Beck, no. Kumas, no. Scallion, no. Morton, for the English quota, no. Caddy Golden, if your club was here, yes, but you're not wanted by Slot, unfortunately.
Mm, mm, mm. So
Well,
pretty
there
much,
you go.
yeah, that's pretty much a no on everyone almost, except for maybe Bichette,
Yeah,
which who's a
yeah,
maybe. There's a maybe. Interesting.
But I think Dope,
yeah,
potential wise, is probably the best out of all of them.
Mm,
Yeah,
wow.
I think he showed me glimpses of what he can do.
Mm,
Attitude, I think it's just attitude with him. See how he's at Middlesbrough, he's doing all right. Let's see how he gets on. But I like to see him get a chance.
mm. It's a shame Scanlon can't stay healthy. If he could stay healthy, I think he would have a shot.
Scanlon, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And you
I've
got,
seen the glimpses.
And Morton is on our bench all year, basically.
Yeah.
No one's
yeah, he had
Yeah.
a great season last season.
Yeah,
And he's,
yeah.
he just not, obviously, because of where he is, just not getting it. It's just sad to see, to be honest.
I think it's a
Sad to
shame.
see.
The Peter Luca is a shame though because that was a Brazilian that we were very high on. I know that he was very very highly coveted. He even by the Brazilian national team, he actually he's gotten attention. So I thought that was very interesting that we obviously made our announcement of his future by going out and getting Momar, and also by the sheer fact that Yaros has played so well is also that
Yeah,
having four good, and obviously having four good keepers really puts a log jam in there for you trying to see yourself getting an opportunity. So
yeah.
and Reese Williams, it's a shame, Reese. We're rooting for you, but Reese's career has definitely gone a different direction.
It's in
And he
pieces.
probably wanted it to go, obviously. But at one time, he was a starter for our team.
Yeah, he's never going to be a regular first teamer. He was never, but he did help us
He was
in
a
the time of
priority.
need. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he did help us in the time of need, and definitely thankful for that and that. But yeah,
Well, people, we are going to be putting a bow on top of this episode and look to come back tomorrow and give you another little bit of preview of the big game that we have on Sunday. A lot of us are really hyped. Going to be predictions. Going to obviously include some of the score predictions as well. We'll get all that in tow for you tomorrow. It'll be at the same time as normally. It's not this time, but it'll be at 7:00 hour. So hopefully you'll be able to join us tomorrow. Be after all the games are pretty much done, I would assume. So hopefully, the games are done. You want to talk some football, you'll come to the channel and share what you got to say. So is there anything you want to say to the people? Oh, we lost Jake. JK's with us. Okay. JK, is there anything you want to say to the people before we let them go?
Enjoy the game Sunday. I think that getting that Madrid game result was sort of just the injuries ruined this week. Them two injuries there, Bradley and Kanate, but it is what it is. We've got Gomez and Trent on the side to take over that. But for me, thanks for the chat and everything. And it's true what Pops is saying about the team and stuff. It's true. I think But Morton's not even getting game time. He's been a sub, but he's not really getting game time. So maybe I think there'll be a few games coming up soon. Maybe they might get a taste.
Yeah, we still have a. Don't we play? We play Southampton. We got a Southampton game coming up in the League Cup, so you might see them get a couple of starts. Some players, especially now that we've depleted some of our resources with the number of players that we have. But yeah, it should be the case. How about for you, Brian? Is there anything you'd like to say to people before we let them go?
No, I just figured out what Team Capri Sun means. I never really knew what it meant. It just means young players, right?
Yeah. Capri Suns is something that a lot of the kids have in their lunch boxes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
okay.
A while back, I think it was the very beginning, the start of the season. There was a watch along that we did, and it was on Beijing Red's show. And it was me, it was Dakota, and Chris were a part of it. So we deemed ourselves and it was a game that we had all the kids were involved in it, and a lot of youngsters were involved in it. So but they did well and they played well, and we were very hyped about it.
Okay, yeah, now it makes sense. Yeah, no, just usual. Thanks for being here, and see you all tomorrow.
Cool. And Nolante, you have the honors of giving the last word for the panel here.
Yeah, big up everyone. Blessings, and see you tomorrow.
You can tell it's very late.
There you go. It's that late, people. It's just that late.
The late too.
It is. I know, it is just that late. But yeah. Big up to everyone for joining us. I know it was a late episode, but I appreciate the fact that you guys joined us. We were only gonna do an hour. It means that we're gonna have to probably edit the description for this show, because it says we're only supposed to be doing an hour. But the late show, that's right, exactly. The late show has finally come to an end for tonight, but we will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure if Beijing Reds are doing a show or not after this, but if I would say Pops is in the chat, so maybe he could tell us if he's going to be getting a show in before we tune off here. But certainly, if you do see any of our brethren go, not tonight, okay. So if you do see shows from our brethren, please do subscribe to us. Please do do us the honor of telling friends or strongly encouraging those to join it, whether it's the Irishman football channel, whether it's Beijing Reds, whether it's obviously this channel here. Please definitely put it out there into the universe so that we can definitely start to build more momentum and really continue to enhance the channel. I saw a shout actually from Andy, just reached 15,000 people, 15,000 on his show, which is phenomenal to hear. And I made sure to give a shout and congratulations to him and his channel. He's someone that helped us out for our Room 101. And we look to hopefully do some more content with him. And we also hope to see you here when we do. So either the case, we wish you all well. We obviously say up the Reds as always, and we will see you Saturday. Take care, guys.